Okay, so hello friends, welcome to Make Money While You Sleep community. Today we are going to discuss how the iron condor works, how do we place them, how do we execute the strategy of iron condor in options. This is a market neutral strategy where we have a defined risk. So let's go through iron condor strategy and understand how it works. So a couple of disclaimers, this content is purely for educational purpose and it is not intended to be an investment or a financial advice. These are the option basics. I have covered them in pretty much in all of my session, so I'm not going to cover this again. But if you need more understanding, do watch my other video on option basics. Okay, let's jump on to the iron condor strategy. So iron condor is nothing but where we have got two puts in which one is of the buying a put and another is of the selling the put. This is one leg, I mean two legs here. And other on the other hand, we also have two calls where we are buying one call and we are selling one call. And all these four trades we are putting on a same expiration date. All right. So this is called iron condor. We will all try to look into it with an example afterwards. In a simplified form, you can understand that it is there. These are two verticals which have been created to make an iron condor, one on the put side and other on the call side. All right. So we have got one put short, one put vertical, and we have got one call vertical. And when we combine them together, they become iron condor. As part of the our strategy and what I try to follow, we will try to look into short iron condor, that is selling off the iron condor. Um, and I'll cover why buying of an iron condor is not a good strategy, but selling of an iron condor could be a good strategy. We'll try to cover that also. Uh, but to cover this particular item, short iron condor is a defined risk and a neutral strategy, and it pays off if the stock does not move much. So this is a strategy which you can use if you know that stock is going to remain in a range. It won't go from this range and that range. It won't go out of that. It could be a good strategy. Plus, you can also define a risk on top of it. So even if that trade does not work according to your expectation, if the stock price moves really way up or really way down, then also you know the risk of what you're going to incur, and you will pay only that amount of money. So this is an advantage of the iron condor, and we'll try to look into it with an example. This is a graphical representation of how a short iron condor works. I think short triangle is a wrong word here. um, I have put the wrong example here. No, this is not the right one. Hmm. So the way it works is this way. Yeah, this is the one. Let me put this one for now. So from a graphical representation perspective, this is how iron condor looks like, where you have got the long put strike here. Basically, when you are buying, the strike of the buying put is here at this here over here, and the selling of a put is over here, and this is a price line shown here in the blue color. So long put is the smallest number, then this buy sell put is a little higher number than that, then you have a sell call which is higher than the both of those put numbers, and you have a buy call over here which is the highest number in here as part of the pricing of the stock. And your price of a stock should lie between these two ranges, generally between short put and between short call. Your price is going to be between these ranges, uh, and till the time your price is going to be between a range short put and short call and little bit above than that, because our break even price is generally, we have the little bit of a tolerance between the short call or short put we get what some more amount of money which helps us in break even, right? Because of the premium which we get. So till the time stock will remain between this range, we are going to remain green, so we are going to make profit. And if stock goes below that, we are going to lose money, but that loss is going to be capped the defined risk is defined. So we are not going to have the infinite loss as part of iron condor. And we will look into it with an example. So this is a graphical representation of iron condor. And let me know if you have any questions anytime. Okay. Okay, so this is an example. Um, this is a buying side of an iron condor, and this is a selling side of an iron condor. As and in almost all my examples, I try to cover them together so that we appreciate how selling as well as buying are working together. Um, but ultimately, whenever we are selling an iron condor, there has to be a buyer of an iron condor as well. All right. But we will try to focus on the selling side of an iron condor, and we will also look into buying side also as part of this example. So to start with this example, let's say we have an Apple, and Apple is at $120 today, and iron condor is, I took this all these slides from Strangle, so I made some mistakes. Um, so iron condor is traded between buyer and seller for May 21, and premium of $262 is collected by the seller. All right. So buyer is buying the iron condor and paying a premium of minus $262, and you can see here we buyer is debiting $262 and seller is collecting $262 here. And if you observe here, we have got 100 buy put, 110 sell put, 140 sell call, and 150 buy call. Just like what we were discussing here in this example in the graph, this is how this works. Okay. So seller is collecting a premium of $262. Okay, so what can happen here? The scenario one is if Apple goes above all these ranges, like we have made a range of, the maximum range is $150 and $100, right? If stock goes anywhere, right, $180, it becomes $500 also, whatever it is. If Apple goes way beyond our range, either on the higher side or on the lower side on the expiry date, ultimately buyer is going to win that particular trade. And how much buyer is going to win? Buyer is only going to win $10. $10 is a difference between the difference of those strikes, either on a buy side, on the call side, or on the put side. Multiply by 100, which is a number of stocks we have got. So basically $1,000 minus $262, which is a premium which buyer has paid. So buyer is going to make $738 as part of winning this particular trade. If this is a kind of scenario which happens, if Apple goes above $150, or it becomes below $100, so this is the money which buyer will make. And because buyer is winning, so seller is going to lose. Hence, seller is going to lose $738 here. And but seller is keeping a premium of $262, which has already been incurred here. $738 is based on a difference of 1000 minus 262 anyway. The scenario two is Apple remains between 110 and $140. So the way we were expecting that, okay, the Apple will remain within this range, Apple remains in that range. What will happen in that case? Buyer is not going to make any money. He will actually lose this $262, and seller will keep the premium. And this example is very practical example, because if you see Apple in a real charting scenario, if we see Apple, right, generally Apple has been uh, between these ranges. If you observe, the maximum Apple has gone is up to $143. So it's a fair amount of risk which you are taking, where you are saying, all right, Apple will not go above $140 and Apple will not go below $110. And if we see even the lowest price in last couple of months, it has hardly been below $110. Even now, when market corrected last few weeks back, the lowest price Apple went is up to $116. So while you are taking a risk of $738, right, but your probability of winning is really high if you are doing this particular trade. And I'm not saying this is always going to make you win, but there is a high probability of winning in this particular trade. And Apple is just an example here, but you can apply this particular thought process in many other stocks. All right. So that is a thought, and that's where I think that selling iron condor is a good strategy, where you know how stock is functioning, what is the range where stock remains, and then you sell, make an iron condor. And even if you are losing, you are not losing a lot of money. You will know how much money you are going to lose. So you are always entering in a trade with the insurance or with a hedge already in place. So that is an advantage here of iron condor. Before covering this, in fact, uh, iron condor is one of the strategy which has saved me a lot of money in my last couple of weeks, and I have lost money in all of those trades, and I was trying to cover them in here. Um, but overall, this has actually saved me good amount of money, though I am making a loss, but I could have made way higher loss. So if you see, this was an iron condor which I closed with profit on Nvidia. So in Nvidia, I was expecting that Nvidia will remain between 500 and 540, and Nvidia was around 510 when I closed it. So I made a good profit here. It is 513 now, so I made a good profit here. Um, but I did lose in couple of my trades. Let me show you. Costco, I lost money. I lost on Baidu also. So this is another iron condor I have opened. This is for Intuit Technologies. Again, Intuit is a very stable stock. If you see here, look at that. This is not very choppy, right? So, and I am selling a iron condor to have a range of 420 and 360. And if we see 420, it has never reached to 420 levels, and 360 is also has not been, it has not been at that level since from some time. 363, 361 is the lowest I can see. So it's a fair amount of calculated risk I am taking here. I just wanted to show you the losing trade here. Where is that? This was a one. No, I did not close any of them, I think. Okay, here it is, Baidu. So Baidu, I was expecting that it will remain in this particular zone, but Baidu crashed really hard when market corrected, and Baidu became $257. So if we see 1 month chart, right, Baidu was around $322 or $335, and it crashed really hard, and it went to $232 in last week or so, 2 weeks or back, 2 weeks back, and now also it is around $260 range. So if I wouldn't have created a iron condor in here, I would have lost almost $10,000 or so. My $305. So I could have lost really good amount of money in here. Maybe may not be to 10,000, but um, around how much money? $280, $260, around $2,000 I also I would have lost in that. So, but I have lost around $700 or so in this one. So that is something which Iron Condor has saved me. Okay.
Instead of taking, putting up four trades, wouldn't it make sense to put two different trades at two different ends of the price? Would it also serve the same purpose? What I'm not able to understand is, so you are a buyer, you are a seller yourself, right?
Mhm.
And you are trading in a stock which doesn't normally move,
Yes.
and you are, when the price is when the scenario one, when the price is going either too up or too low, then you were, as a seller, you are losing.
Yes.
And otherwise, if it remains in that zone as a seller, you are hardly gaining just the premium.
Yes.
So it is more to do with managing the losses in case there are,
Hmm.
than to make profit, is it?
See, as a seller, the profit is always the premium,
Hmm.
because we are an insurance agency. My most of my strategy is based on the selling side, and I tried buying also. Buying was not working out very well, because that becomes more of a gambling, and you have to be very speculative, and you have to know the direction of the market to win in the buying side.
Mm-hmm.
uh, but if you are in a selling side, you can be less speculative about your market. Of course, now when market takes a turn against you, then you can have losses. But if you play safe, like just like in the passive income strategy, you have more higher chances of winning. So that is what we want to leverage. But yes, your profit as part of your selling is only the premium. It's not infinite profit for you when you are at a selling side.
Okay.
So this is a different style of trading. Uh, but yes, somebody will like it, somebody may not like it. I just want to make you learn it and then apply this along with your existing strategies. For example, let's say you are already buying calls, right? A lot of people are buying calls for Tesla. Now Tesla is way low, so you can definitely do that. But other than that, you have now more tools in your pocket which you can apply. That's
Right.
my thought process here. Uh, so an advantage of iron condor is that you are playing with those stocks which have lesser probability of going out of those ranges. So that is the advantage. So you have nine. I'm just putting a number, but there are two different thought processes. One is about, okay, do you want to win 90% of the time, but always win small? This is a seller's mindset. Or do you want to win 10% of the time, but you want to win big? So this is a buyer's mindset, buyer of an option mindset.
Okay.
So now you will take those calls according to the market movement as well as your knowledge of the stock. So for example, let's say you know it for sure that a stock will go definitely go high, right? You may
Mm-hmm.
not want to sell the stock, sell options. You want to buy an option, buy a call, or you will want to buy a stock itself directly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know that, okay, I am not really sure if this stock will move or do something, um, or you know that, okay, this stock is going to remain in this range. Of course it will keep moving within this range, but it won't move way more than that. Then maybe
Mm-hmm.
you can just sell an iron condor on that. So this is another strategy which you can apply.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically, when I'm selling a put, I'm getting a premium, and
Yes.
when I'm buying a put, I'm again paying that, and
Yes.
that may be higher than what I have received as a premium,
Yeah. No.
because the strike price is also in when I'm buying a put, the strike price is also 110, while I'm selling a put of 100. So my uh, outgoing might be little more than incoming in terms of premium.
No, premium, you are collecting premium, right? As a seller. So whatever premium you have collected, a buyer has paid you that premium. Because you are just think in terms of insurance. Like you are an insurance company when you have sold that particular put, like an insurance, and somebody has bought that insurance from you by paying that premium.
Right.
So that premium is with you. That's the money you are making. But of
Right.
course, you have taken that risk. But as a seller of an option, you have undertaken that risk in a calculative fashion. You are not blindly taking any risk. Like on that day, you were asking me to sell STPK, right? And I suggested that let's not do it because it is very risky.
Mm-hmm.
So you may want to know what is your risk, and then you will enter in a trade smartly. That all right, that risk is way lesser as compared to the premium you are collecting here. And when that particular opportunity happen, then you enter in a trade. Otherwise, you don't enter.
Right.
Okay.
So, like in the first, in the reverse iron condo,
Mhm.
so it's a debit transaction.
Yes.
It means I am paying.
Yes.
So it is so there are four things I have opened. I am in a sell put. I am taking the premium. When I am buying a put, I am paying the premium.
Yes.
And similarly in the buy and sell option.
Yes.
And the total of the overall transaction will be a debit transaction. It means I'm paying little more uh, and getting little less. And in the normal iron condor, it's a credit transaction.
Yes. This is a selling side. So this is a seller of an iron condor. The shorting or selling, it means same. So he's a seller of an iron condor, which is an example here. And this is a buyer of the iron condor. So it is a debit transaction for buyer, just like buyer of an insurance will pay the premium, right? For insurance premium, and seller of an insurance is going to collect that premium, the insurance premium.
Okay.
Okay.
So both are on the both side. There is selling and buying. So a buyer is also a seller, and a seller is also a buyer. It's just that the strike price here in the reverse condo, the strike price that he has taken is for the higher side for selling a call.
Yes.
And while on the other side, for the buying a call, the strike price is the highest price from the four prices strike price that I've taken.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah, very good observation. Yeah, this is a very good observation you have made. So I'll try to show you in the Tastyworks as well. So let me show you how it shows on Tastyworks. So see, for example, 110, right? Okay, this is a net credit example, right?
Mhm.
So I am, as a seller, I am selling, I'm just putting a vertical here because ultimately iron condor is nothing but a combination of one sell put vertical and one sell call vertical. So I am selling 110 put and I'm buying 100 put. All right.
Yeah.
And this is giving me a credit of 1.86. And I am, if stock will go below $100, if
Yeah.
Apple will go below $100, I am going to take a loss of $814.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
And if it does not go below $100, $110, I am going to make $186. Let me write it down. Apple below $100, seller. I'm losing $814. Okay. Apple above $110, I'm going to make $186. All right. Okay. What about Apple remains between 100 and $110, right? Because I have taken these two scenarios, but I have not covered this one. So what's going to happen here? This is a gray area. Now, in this particular, when this is happening, this range is going on, then depending on the stock movement, uh, a seller or a buyer is going to make money or lose money. How will that happen? So my break even in this particular case is premium. How much is a premium? $186. Okay. So how much is my break even? Break even for me is
100 minus 1.86.
110 minus 1.86. 1.86 कैसे आया? From 186 divided by 100 because we have 100 stocks here. Okay. So this is my break even. If
So
stock,
it's not 110 minus 1.86.
yeah, 110 minus 1.86. Yes, this is what it is.
Okay. Yeah, correct. No, sorry. Is it not 100 minus 1.86?
100 minus 1.86. No, because your sell put, tell me the sell put, where sell put is happening at what price,
110. Okay,
right?
okay. Right.
So this buy put is nothing but your insurance.
Right. Got it now. Got
Yeah,
it. It's 110 minus 1.8.
yes. This is just an insurance to not take too much losses. Your
Right.
losses are capped to just $1,000. You will not make not $1,000, not more than $14. So this buying of a put is only helping you in saving this, safeguarding you from here, that your max loss is capped now. Otherwise, you can have infinite amount of losses here.
Right.
But your break even will be defined from your sell put.
Okay.
Okay. So if Apple goes is between 110 and 100 and 110, sorry, 110, 100 and 110.
Yeah.
Uh, if stock will remain above 108.14, you are going to make money as a seller. It will be little lesser, but you are going to have a profitable trade. But if it goes below 108.14, then seller is going to lose money depending on the stock price movement. All right. And whatever money we are making here, buyer is going to make that profit.
Right.
Okay. So this is the seller part, and if I try to show you here, so I'm selling here and I'm buying here. So this is nothing but iron condor now. All right. And it is showing me $262 here. And if my maximum profit is $262 and maximum loss is $738 here. Okay. And one of the important part observation which you should have is my buying power. My reduction of buying power is only $445 here, which is great because if I am selling a naked put, or I am selling a naked, or I am selling a strangle, my buying power is going to be really high for this. So let's say if I try to sell a naked put here for 110, let's see how much buying power I will need. So if I'm just selling a naked put, I need a buying power of 1,232. But when I was, and I'm just collecting $310 credit, right?
Right.
But when I am making an iron condor, okay, my buying power is reducing only by $445, but I'm still collecting $262. So my credit is not too bad as compared to what I was collecting as part of my naked put,
Right.
right? But my buying power has reduced very low. So my return on investment is really high as part of short
Right.
iron condor too. So which
And
is
more
good.
importantly, the losses are also tamed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is an advantage of iron condor, which I wanted to show you as compared to other trades.
Okay. So why isn't then why put naked call or naked put at all? Because this works as a good strategy to for
Mhm.
any stock, whether be a very volatile, whether be not a volatile, whether be in a choppy market, whether be in a safe market.
Yes, very good
Because
point.
first main important is buying power, and second important is it saves you from a big fall. I
Yes.
mean, just the premium is little bit, but I think, as you said, the return on investment and everything, if you calculate
Yes.
for a person with a fragile heart, I think this is the best strategy to go with.
Yeah, good point. And that's why I wanted to cover all these observations. This is a very good point. Um, so here are my thoughts. When you sell a put, and I always call it out that if you are doing selling option, you should still have the investor mindset. Don't have the speculative mindset. If you are going to have a speculative mindset, I think selling option is not a good strategy. If you are in a speculation mode all the time, you want to make double money every trade, selling option may not work very well. So if we have an investment mindset, we are always looking for the good stocks where we can make money in a long term. And when I say long term, it could be 3 years, 5 years, some that kind of amount of time also. Not saying always we enter in a trade and we have to wait for 3 years, but all I'm saying is, uh, if we have investment mindset, we can easily manage those situations when stock is not performing well. Okay. So the advantage what short put gives us is two things. Number one, we can take assignment on short put and we can have that stock. So even if stock does not perform well, we know that stock is going to perform well in future, 6 months, 1 year down the lane, right? So that is one reason that short put helps us out. Second is short puts are very easy to adjust. Iron condor is very difficult to adjust. You would have seen that kind of adjustments I've been doing from last couple of weeks, because market was not, excuse me, market was not going as per our expectations. So I was doing lot of adjustments, but iron condors you cannot adjust to make more money. If you are going to lose, you are going to lose here. If Apple goes below $100, um, it's very difficult to come out of the trade profitably. But in short put, you may come out of the trade profitably if you have enough buying power. If you don't have enough buying power, you are poor anyway. So poor are always getting screwed in whole of the world. But if you have enough capital and your trade is the trade is going against you, short put you can easily adjust to make money for you in a
So
long run.
adjustment means changing the existing trade.
Adjustment depends, it depends on the trade. So for example, if I will show you adjustments, right? Mm, one of them is rolling, right? I actually was rolling a lot of trades. So rolling does not happen very well on the short iron, on the iron condor. What is rolling? You close one trade and you open another trade. Look at this one. For NGA was not working according to my expectation. So let me show you what is going on NGA. So I am pretty bullish on NGA, but it's not working very well right now. Correct. So I had a trade on NGA for March 19th of 22.5 strike. Now this was not working for me. NGA is at 18.20 right now. Okay. So what I did, because I had a naked put, I just rolled it and rolled it on a credit. So I'm making money even when I am rolling this. Rolling this means I'm closing a trade and opening the same trade in future. And then also I'm making more money in this trade while I was supposed to lose on this particular trade which I have closed.
Okay. So, so that is also an option in a naked put, that when you are losing, you can basically it's more like buying time,
Yes.
buying time on the same. Everything remains the same, but you have more, say 30 days, 15 days, 45 days,
Yeah, and
and
I'm
you
collecting
get
money.
paid for it.
Yes, so I'm still collecting money. So that's the beauty of selling put. Does not mean it will happen always. It does not mean that, but in my experience, 50 to 70, 80% it will happen, and you will come out of it profitably. But when you have iron condor, you cannot do it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you can do it very rarely. I tried doing. I had like 5 or 7 iron condors, and I was not able to roll any of those trades in these last 3 weeks.
I
I was
see.
able to roll them sometimes, but this time I was not able to roll them. They were not giving me any profit if I was rolling them. Like the way I have got credit in this sell put, I was not getting any credit. It was all debit transaction. And if I'm debiting, it is a loss for me anyway. So I thought, let me not take more risk by putting them in the future, by paying more money for that. So I just closed them on a loss right now. So so that is a disadvantage here. So let me try to cover options. Again, I have got a lot of options. Just as we have seen in this again on another strategy, that we can play these trades in a different way and we can make money. Long iron condor, it is not to be used in my opinion. The main reason behind that is because we have a put vertical and a call vertical. All right. Now, if you are very speculative about a trade and you want to buy option anyway, right? So either you will be speculative in a bullish way, or you are going to be speculative for a bearish direction, right? But if you have an iron condor, you are playing in both direction. You are playing a put direction also as well as in a call direction. So why, as a buyer of an option, you are going to play on both speculation, right? So it's a very rare case where you don't want to play. I mean, you want to either want to become a very bearish or you want to become really bullish about a trade, right? You don't want to become both. So in terms of speculation, long iron condors are not a great strategy. But at the same time, if in terms of short iron condor, this is a great strategy. The reason being that your maximum profit, which are always anyway defined as part of your selling options, you always are collecting premium only, right? That's your strategy. That is anyway defined. But in this strategy, your maximum losses are also defined. So you know how much risk you are undertaking when you are trading on the selling side. So this is an advantage here. The capital usage is lower as compared to other options what we have got, like selling naked put and other selling a strangle. You are always going to have lesser capital usage here. It's a neutral strategy, as we have seen. You, if you're expecting a stock will remain in a range, you can apply this one. And I think again, on top of it, you're not taking infinite risk. You know your risk also. This is also a good strategy to play safe in a severe market bear and bull scenario, which is happening right now. So this strategy is quite good right now to apply, where the stock could be good, but you also know that right now the way market is behaving, you never know the next day market will crash by 30% or 20%, right? So there are a lot of uncertainties because of the macro reasons itself, not because of the stock or because of the company doing not good, but because of a lot of macro scenarios going on. So this could be a good strategy in this kind of environment. Okay. The cons are it pays less than strangle. As we have seen in the example, less than the strangle or a naked put. It pays little lesser than that, but risk is defined in the iron condor. So for that, we are anyway paying bit more premium, bit more money.
So
And
strangle is naked put, selling a put is strangle?
strangle has naked put and naked call together.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
And we use the word covered when we own the stock, and when we are say selling a call, we use the word covered.
Yes.
Okay.
When I'm selling a covered strangle, it means I have a stocks to cover my calls, short calls.
Okay.
Okay. I'll try to explain that. Let me try
And
to
even in iron condor, we can do we use the term naked iron condor or covered iron condor?
No. Iron condor is anyways always covered, right? With this particular insurance, what you have bought, buying of a put and buying of a call, it is always covered.
Okay.
Only for strangle, I try to cover them. And let me try to show you an example here. And as I mentioned, difficult to adjust in case a trade goes against us. Iron condors are very difficult to adjust. You cannot move those trades, and you can, if you try to move them too much and expect that you can make some money, you cannot make that money. So very difficult to adjust. Okay. All right, so this was the finish of my session today. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and we will try to cover them. So with this, let me try to show you the covered strangle.
Just a quick thing. So on NGA, since you were just there, I was looking up at the price of NGA, and currently it's around like what 18.2. So that is why you rolled it, because I think your strike price is around 22.5.
Yes.
And you must, I mean, so the idea was to have the price or the current prevailing price much more or little more than 22.5. So that is why you are basically rolling over, taking more time.
Yes.
So basically in a in a naked put, there are scenarios where you usually don't make loss because you can just keep rolling. Is there a cap to rolling? Because I can keep rolling and I can just maybe the premium will just reduce a lot, but I can just keep buying time, say from January to maybe mid-year or end year, hoping the
Yes.
market, and if the stocks we are investing or thinking about are decent, so one day it will rise basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was suggesting, that when you try to sell a naked put, that is what, even if you are dealing with a good stock, right, and you have a confidence on that stock, then you can make money at some point of time. Uh, rolling happens most of the time. Sometimes it will not be successful. It is also possible. So I had a stock called Fold. Rolling did not happen properly on that. So I did that trade. I still rolled it, but I was not happy with the rolling. I'll show you that example. But yes, most of the time you will be able to roll with a credit.
Okay. So is there a scenario where we face losses in a sell put, naked sell put?
The scenario is when stock goes really down, right? If stock goes below your strike, you can have losses.
But we can choose to roll it over when the time comes. We can choose to, or maybe even before the time comes. I don't know if there is an option to roll over. So this way we can continue maybe for a couple of months in the home. That stock will
Yes.
come at par to the strike price or a little more.
Yes, if stock comes at your price, at the strike price, yes, you are going to come out of it profitably. But if does not, then you are making losses.
Okay. And can I roll over the option in midway? Like if I've taken a 29-day or a 30-day, and can I do it, say, in 15 days if I feel that something is not right? Is that also an option?
You can do it anytime. As soon as you buy, you have that contract, you can roll it anytime.
Okay.
Okay,
Fine.
let me try to show you how to roll. You go here, portfolio, right? Let's say I want to roll any of my trade. This one I want to roll because, so I'll just go here, roll position. See, there is an option here.
Okay. So
I'll
you
roll.
are not in a position to ask and bid. Those things you cannot do that, right?
No, I can still do that. So I'll roll. I'll show you example. Roll. Okay. So it's rolling, it's closing my this particular trade and it is opening this trade. All right. See, buy to close
Right.
April 16th. This is this trade and it is opening another trade here. Same trade. Okay. In a future. And if you
Okay.
see, then I'm
You
rolling.
still.
So this is also good example. In
Okay.
this example, I'm debiting this. I'm not getting a credit transaction. So it's not always required that you are always going to make money. You might also lose money when rolling. But if you are dealing with a good stock, you will make money when you will have a credit transaction. Okay. All these dynamics, whether you will have a debit here or not, it depends on the market situation. If market is not willing to pay for this particular contract, right, I'm not going to get that money. But if market is willing to pay for this contract, I'm going to get a credit transaction.
So this is you are buying. I thought rolling over means again selling. So you are buying one call put of 12.5. So
To close a transaction, to close a contract, you will always buy.
okay.
Okay. If I try to close this, right, let's say if I want to just close it, this particular contract, it will be buy to close. It is a selling
Oh,
transaction. You have, when you are closing it, you are buying that.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
here, when rolling over, it can, depending on the stock, it can uh, give a debit transaction instead of a credit transaction,
yes,
even though for a small amount, but it is a possibility.
yes, absolutely. So it's not always a rosy picture. It depends on the market situation.
But can you change the premium and things in a buy?
Yeah, I can do that. I can do any of this. But my role, whether it fills or not, that's a different case, right?
That is a
It is
okay.
saying you are sending this order as a net credit when it is a
Debit.
typically send a net.
Okay.
So
So we can't go against the wind.
right. So we can do that, but it's giving you a, it's telling you that, okay, it won't be, filled for you. Okay. So good that we saw this example too, but if I try to roll something else, let me see if I can roll something else with a credit. So if I roll this one, see, I can roll this one with a credit. So depending on the market situation, how much demand for that particular stock is in the market, you can have a credit or a debit transaction.
Okay. So this, which stock is it?
This is
Uh,
this is Doku.
Doku. Okay. DocuSign, is it?
Yes,
No.
DocuSign.
DocuSign. Okay.
All right. So So yeah, but our iron condor, they are very difficult to roll. In fact, right now on Tastyworks, on I think most of the uh, platform, you cannot roll right away. Just like I just had this button and roll, right? I cannot do that roll on the iron condor here. Do I have any iron condor pending now? I think I don't have anything as iron condor. I closed all my iron condors on last week. Do.
Okay. And how do you decide for the price of iron condor? That what are the price? What are the things that you keep in mind? I was discussing with you regarding the price for selling a put, and sometimes the strategy might be 40% down the current prevailing price, or a little more or less than that. So, is there a thought process which goes in deciding, because it's all the more confusing? You have to
Yeah,
select four different strike price.
very good point. So for me, my strategy for iron condor is, if stock is expensive, I put an iron condor. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, and if stock is not very expensive, for me the expensive means stock price is more than $100 or more than $150. Then I will put an iron condor on that. But for you, it could be different risk capacity. For me, the risk capacity is that, okay, if the stock is more than $100, I try to put a vertical or an iron condor on there. So like,
Okay.
right, let's say if I put a Nvidia, right, Nvidia or Tesla, let's put Tesla as an example. Everybody wants to buy Tesla, right? So see, on Tesla, I put last week, I put $300 sell put. Again, very risky, right?
Right.
But what I could have done, instead of this, I could have also done this one. Let's say I could have gone to Tesla, and I know that Tesla will not go below 400. So I'll put this, and I will put 350. So this is a 5,050 is a difference right here. So I'm taking a risk of $5,000. Okay.
Right.
And it is giving me $332. And I will also go on the other side of Tesla. So Tesla, it is a $654. Tesla is a beast in itself. You have to scroll too much to manage risk here. And then we expect, okay, Tesla will not go above $1,000. Okay. And since I have taken $55,000 risk here, let me also take $5,000 risk here, because either stock will go way below or way above, right? So it won't
Right.
happen that it will take both of my hit both of my sides.
Right.
So let me collect. So I can collect $566 by putting $5,000 on a stake. Now that $5,000 I can lose if stock goes way below $400 or way above $1,000. But what is the probability of happening? Of course, for Tesla, it can go above $1,000 anytime, but it will take a lot of work for it to do. I won't say.
Sorry again. So you will make your range is 350 to 1,050.
Mhm.
Anything in between, if Tesla the price is anything in between, then you are fine with it, right? You are just keeping the 566 premium. And but if it is going above 1,050 or below 350, then you lose that amount. You lose something. I don't know which amount. Yeah,
You will
you
lose
lose 443.
yeah, you will lose this much amount of money.
Okay. And the best part is the buying power is hardly reduced.
Yeah. For me, it has reduced that much. May not, maybe for you, it could be a different number. So because I am running on portfolio account now, so it might be different, but yeah, it won't be too much for you too. It will be something like maybe $1,200 or so.
Right.
Okay. So, but you are still putting a risk of 4,434 here if stock goes way beyond your limit. But at the same time, again, uh, now you can decide for yourself whether this is a good risk to take, and this is a good range for you to have. And
Got
sometimes
it.
stock will go out of your range. What can we do, right? We do not know everything, but we have already defined our risk. But if instead of this, if I would have done this, right, let's assume this is a strangle. Now this is called strangle. Look at this, my credit has increased drastically, right? This is called a strangle, where I am selling a put and selling a call. All right, sell put and sell call. Sell put of 400 and selling call of $1,000. All right, I am making $1,733. My buying power is again being reduced to a bit more higher because now I don't have any insurance. There is no hedging here. So I can make money of $1,733, but my risk is infinite. Okay, so this is a disadvantage of having strangle or selling naked.
Okay. So what happens here if the price is, if it is more than 400, you're fine. But if it's less than 400, it's kind of a loss minus the premium. That is your.
Yes,
But what happens with 1,000? So if it is a call.
it's a
So
call. If it goes above $1,000, then you will start making loses. You will start losing money.
okay.
Okay. Now check my strangle video. That's where I
Yeah,
covered
I
this
will.
particular point.
Sure.
But
Mm-hmm.
this is nothing but naked put and naked call. This is called strangle. All right. All right. So this is what it was. Okay. All right. So this is what I wanted to cover. Do we have any questions on any trades? Okay.
Sorry, no questions as of now.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So one thing that I'm little confused. So I understand that when the prices say if it's more than 100 or little expensive, you put this strategy. But how do you decide which strike price?
So strike price in terms of, okay, let's look at that. I try to look into the chart generally. So for me, I generally use charting for that. And now I know my stock, so I just go into the Google charts and decide. Uh, so you can just look at the chart itself, right? Let's say if I talk about Tesla, okay. So if I want to put a range in here, right? Let me see how much Tesla has gone, right? So Tesla has gone, not never gone above 840, $880 or so, right? So $900 must be a very important resistance for Tesla,
Right.
right? So this is a very good assumption to make. So I can put, instead of in fact $1,000, if I want to deal with Tesla, I'm not going to put this trade, but if I want to put this trade, this is how I am going to think about it. That instead of $1,000, Tesla has gone up to $800. So 800 must be a very strong resistance for Tesla. That's why it's not going above that, $880 or so. So now I can go here and then place, why not? I put $900 as a limit. Okay. And I put $910, or let me put $20, $920 as a thing, right? Because Tesla has more bullish, right? Bullish skewness. So what I can do is, let me not do this. So I can play this kind of trade where I will put, so now let's see this. So this is interesting. Look at my call side. I have a call for call side, put side is $50 away. Okay.
Right.
But look at my call side. It is just $10 away. What does
Right.
it mean? It means I am taking a risk towards the bearish side. If stock will go down, I am taking a risk of $5,000. All right. But if stock goes on a bullish side, I am taking a risk of $1,000.
Right.
Okay. So if stock goes high, Tesla will go very high. I am going to take lesser risk. I just have a risk of $9,000. But on the going a bearish side, I'm taking more risk. And why I'm
Yeah.
doing this? I'm doing this because I know Tesla is way more bullish stock. I can play more safely towards the bearish side because Tesla should not go way low. So let me be more risky towards that side, but let me not take too much risk on the bullish side. So this is what I have done here.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So all those things come together and then you form a trade.
Mhm.
And again, I did not talk about 400, $350. Maybe we can, let's see where it has gone. So see, Tesla's range is 463, $563. Yeah, 400 should be a good range. Yeah, 400 could be a good stock strike. It has been to $408, which is in November, but still, I mean, 400 could be a good strike, and you can take little bit more risk on the bearish side, and you are taking very less risk on the bullish side. And see, just because of changing this trade, now my buying power has increased.
Mhm.
Okay, and my profit losses have also changed. But yeah, this is a thought process you can have when you are putting iron condors. So that's a good question.
Mhm. So from all the, I understand there are a couple of, say, 9 or 10 of the options, strategies. So from among all these strategy, is this the safest strategy that you think, or is it there is another one which is safer than this? Because, uh, yeah, I
Um,
mean, what?
yeah, this is a safe strategy, I would say. This is a safe strategy you can play. Yeah,
Okay. Mhm.
I think I can't say that this is the safest one. Depending on the stock movement and everything, I have to decide. But this is one of the safe strategy.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, you can have a lot more strategies. I mean, you can, if you want to play more safe, then you can. Um, yeah, this is a safe strategy. Let's not complicate it. Only thing is, if you want to play way more safe, then you will just reduce the spread width. Spread width means that this is a width of $50, right? Over here, and it is $10.
Mhm.
So the less risk you want to take, you want to reduce the spread width.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, I see.
Since you are yeah, one more thing which should be you should remember, even if we have iron condor, there is a risk of assignment. All right.
So there is a risk of assignment when the stock goes below 350 or 400.
So there is a risk of assignment in here when stock will go below 400,
Mm-hmm.
but it does not go below 350 in iron condor.
Right.
If on expiry date, if it will if a scenario will happen when stock will go below 400 and but it will not go below 350, Tesla will be assigned to you. Okay,
But but can I roll over
you can roll over, but
just one part of it?
yeah, you can roll. It is ultimately four different trades.
Trades.
You can roll anytime any of those trades, but it won't be. I mean, if rolling was your intention, why didn't you sell a naked put, right? Because you are paying for this 350 put anyway,
Yeah.
correct? So look at my trade. So on Tesla, I am selling 300 put, right?
Yeah.
So I'm selling that if I would have put 300 and 250 put, another 250 put, then either, I mean, you have to decide before entering in a trade, do you want to sell a naked put and you are willing to take the assignment, or you don't want to take the assignment, you just want to safeguard yourself from the risk of losing. Okay. So if you just want to safeguard, so then you will put a vertical or you will put a iron condor so that your risks are defined and you will just close that particular trade. Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, when you're trading this iron condor, you should remember that, all right, if stock will not work according to my expectation, then I should be open to take this loss.
Right.
That will be the best way of thinking of it. And when that moment will come when things are not working, maybe we can discuss that, we can brainstorm that. Of course, you can always roll,
Sure.
but if rolling was your intention, then 350 put you are unnecessarily putting because it is causing you taking money from your pocket.
Yeah, but this way I'm also able to leverage on the existing buying power.
Yeah, that is true. But when you will roll and you will close all other transaction, again your buying power will be, you will need more buying power then.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Okay. So that was the thought process there. All right. All right. Any other questions, Shruti?
Um, I think not as of now.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah, I think you have learned a lot within 1 week or so, right? And you're asking
Not
the right
really. It's
questions.
a long way to go.
No, I think I like the questions you have asked. So it's you're asking the right question and you are thinking in the right direction. So that's what I can say. So this is good. All right. So in that case, yeah, let's close this call. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Shruti. And yeah, I'll see you soon again. Next
All
week
right.
is Holi, right? So I may not take any session. But after that, we can do that. But if you have any question, just ping me on Discord and we can quickly figure it out. All right.
Sure. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. You have a great
Thank
day.
you. You too. Bye.